Now, if you want to learn more about how to use apostrophes, you'll get some useful tips from our workbook. To get yourself a copy, call us on 1-800 20 20 65. Remember, that's a free phone number, and the workbook is free too, and we'll be happy to send you out a copy. But as Terry is about to explain to us now, studying isn't always just about reading and writing. Sometimes it's about communicating as well.
Now, there's one aspect of study that we don't often consider, and that's our speaking and listening skills, how we talk to and learn from other people. Most times we think of learning as something that happens when you sit down and read or watch or listen to a piece of information that your brain has to make sense of.
But a lot of learning doesn't happen like that. It happens in work and in social situations where we talk to and listen to other people.
The ability to listen and to ask questions is important because as your literacy levels improve, you'll find that you're reading and writing, listening to and talking about more and more subjects.
More than one way to describe the word.
To learn about these subjects, it'll often be important that you talk to others, that you ask questions. Communication like this is a vital skill for you to have and use. If you don't understand something, ask questions until you do. When you ask questions, you're not saying, "I'm stupid, I don't understand." What you're really saying is, "What you've told me doesn't make sense to me." And that's perfectly normal.
So, as we've seen, asking questions and communicating with people is vital if you want to improve your learning skills. And just as our learner Moses found out, improving your literacy is key to a whole new life. When Moses started his education, he found himself on the path to literacy. But the effects were far greater than he could have imagined.
Since I've started the classes of reading and writing, it has changed my life.
Oh, enjoy your tour. Thank you very much. And enjoy yourself. Thank you.
Before, I don't used to open up to people. I don't used to talk much to people. But now I can confidently talk to people. There's nothing you can do you can't do anything these days when you cannot write, you cannot write addresses. Especially when you're going to somewhere and somebody give you an address to go to somewhere, or maybe it's giving you on the phone. So when you cannot read it, you cannot write it out, it's a problem.
But we're now on our way down to see the largest of the Georgian squares since Stephen's Green.
I always have a passion to take care of people, like little children or older people who cannot actually help themselves. I have that passion, so I think it's a thing I can do to help people to do caring work. I have made a little bit of inquiry about that, and it told me that I have to go to some courses to be able to do these things. So going to courses, I have to know how to read and write. So it's the first step that I have to follow.
Life is a lot easier for me. Like for instance, things that I have to give somebody to do for me, I get to do it myself.
Hi, good afternoon. How can I help you? Can I get a ticket for the tour?
You can, most certainly.
Shame is a thing of the past because I no longer ashamed of anything. Because I now have the boldness to start something, and when even along the line it's become more difficult for me, I have people to meet to guide me through.
The chimney now going up and dates back to 1895, so you'll soon be standing 60 metres high or 185 feet.
The level now has improved because unlike before, I can't absolutely nothing. I cannot read anything.
Great view from there, isn't it? Yeah.
Great view of Dublin.
Yeah.
But now it has improved. Any letter you mention, I can write it, and when you measure a word and you ask me to spell it, even if sometimes I cannot spell it correctly, but I'll be able to spell it halfway, and to other people it might be something that this is a very small thing, but to me it means a lot to me because I have learned greatly, and I think my level is high to me.
Which was an ancient brick road.
Compared to 3 years ago, I was not happy. As at that time, I was not really happy. I was always a sad man. I'm always sad because I keep thinking about what tomorrow might be for me. So, but now I no longer think that, because I believe that I'm already on my way going up. So I'm really happy today.
Over this way, isn't it? Yeah.
Great view. I've already started the classes, and I'm trying all effort to plan for the future. So as my levels increases, and I plan towards the future, so I have a hope.
We've heard from Moses just what a difference learning English has made to his life. However, English can be quite a difficult language to learn because there are so many strange patterns in spelling and pronunciation. A good example of this is found in words with the letters GH in them. These letters appear in a lot of common words. Sometimes the GH can be silent, or sometimes it can have an F sound. There are only a few words where the GH sounds like an F. These are words like cough and trough and laugh. It's a good idea to learn as many of these as possible. In most other cases, however, the GH will have no sound at all. Words like fight and bought and caught. Many of these words with a silent GH end in T. Other examples of this include flight, naught and bright. You'll notice that words with the letters GH in them are very common, so use your visual skills, your eyes and your memory to help you group them. This will then help you to spell them.
Now, earlier in the programme, Moses was telling us just how difficult he found it to study in the noisy hostel he was living in. Well, he's not alone. Terry's here now to tell us just how important it is to find the right kind of environment to study in. And I'm guessing that a nice quiet place like this conservatory here in Farmlee would be a good place to start.
Earlier in the programme, we looked at study skills which would help you with your reading, writing, speaking and listening. But to give yourself the best chance of success with your learning, you've got to give whatever it is you're studying your full attention.
That means getting rid of anything that will distract you. For example, it's hard to study well if you're sitting uncomfortably or if it's noisy. These are physical distractions. Then there are mental distractions to study. Imagine how difficult it is to study something when you're trying to remember what shopping you have to get or that phone call you need to make.
Look at this library. Say you had to concentrate on something really difficult and you needed to find somewhere quiet where you wouldn't be distracted. Where would you sit?
If you decided to sit by the door, then you might find it hard to concentrate with all the people going in and out. By the computers, you'd have the clacking of the keyboards, and by the aisle, you'd have people passing up and down.
An ideal place to study is like this one. It's quiet, away from the doors, away from the computers, nobody passing by, and all the books you need are close by. So the next time you're trying to learn something and you're finding it difficult, check and see if there are any physical or mental distractions you can get rid of. It'll make all the difference.
So it seems the key to learning is obviously finding the right place to study, away from distractions like this snooker table. Oh dear. Well, practice makes perfect. Anyway, let's have a look back at some of the things we learned in today's programme.
English has many different origins and it's been influenced by many other languages such as French, Greek and Latin. We've adopted many different foreign words into our language, such as judo and yoga.
We also met our learner Moses from Nigeria, whose life changed dramatically when he decided to improve his education.
It's like I'm going from one level to a higher level, it makes me very happy.
Terry had some valuable tips on study skills.
We saw how you need to break the larger skills of reading, writing, speaking and listening into study skills such as skimming, that it's important to give study your full attention for it to be successful. We often need to ask questions for something to make sense to us. See you next week.
We also saw some more uses for apostrophes, as well as finding out how to use GH words.
This week we looked at apostrophes, which are the correct way to show that something belongs to someone or something. The apostrophe always comes before the S if you're talking about one thing or one person. If you're talking about more than one thing, the apostrophe comes after the S. We also looked at how the letters GH sound in words. In most words, these letters will have a silent sound, such as with high or sigh. However, in some words, these letters will have an F sound, such as in the words tough and enough.
Well, that's it for this week. Next week we'll be meeting a learner from Dublin, Mary Bulger. We'll be looking at how to register to vote, and we'll be tackling using suffixes and those rather strange sounding homophones. So until then, goodbye.